guys, my name is Anna Hermelink, and I am from Parkville South High School. And today I want to share with you why I believe each and every one of you need to be more like Simon Cowell. Okay, so for those of you who don't know Simon, Simon has been a judge on American Idol, America's Got Talent, X Factor, and he is the king of saying the word no. And so if you take a look up at the screen, I want you to look at the two pictures of the calendar and the busy to-do list. Many of you guys can probably relate to these pictures because you probably know someone in your life whose life is a little busier than it should be, or is a little too hectic, or is chaotic. And if we are honest with ourselves, I think most of us also go through periods of our life when our lives reflect these pictures. Especially being in student council, that means that we get more leadership roles, which is awesome. Which also means we get more responsibility and more commitments, which is why sometimes our calendars do look this full. And while opportunities are great, and while we have this many things thrown at us and people ask favors of us, there is a fine line between saying yes and saying no, putting our foot down and saying, no, I can't do this. And so with all that in mind, I would like all of you guys to please stand up if you want to. Okay, so now that everyone's standing up, can you guys turn around like this? And then put your, it'd be your left hand, left hand up. You'll have to kind of look back at me like this. And then put your right hand up like this. And basically you guys are going to dab if you want to. And so on the count of 3, you're going to shift your dab like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, everyone can turn around and sit back down. All right, so many of you guys are probably thinking, first off, Anna's talking about Simon. That's kind of weird. Then you're probably thinking she just kind of tricked us into dabbing. That's also pretty weird. But I promise there is a purpose to all of this. Okay, so someone in the front can kind of shout out the answer to this. But why did you guys just do that? Yeah, because I asked you to. All I did was ask you a simple question. You guys did it without really even thinking about it. Granted, I kind of tricked you, but that was a part of the demonstration. And so now I want you to think about why you do anything that anyone asks you to do. Why do you do it? And just kind of think about it. So I'm going to share reasons why I do things that people ask me to do. And really I do it because of 4 main reasons. 1, because I actually want to do what they're asking me to do. And so that's one reason. The second reason is because I feel guilty about saying no. The third reason is because I feel peer pressured into saying, or I feel pressured, and so I say yes. And then the fourth reason is because, I had these memorized. The fourth reason is because I fear authority, and I fear the person that's asking me to do it. And so if we apply those 4 things to the demonstration, we can see that some of you guys probably were like, okay, so we're dabbing, cool. You guys are on board with it and you wanted to do it. Some of you guys were probably like, oh, I kind of feel guilty because this girl's asking me to do it, and so I guess I'll do it. Some of you guys probably did it because everyone else in the crowd was doing it, and if you were the only one not doing it, that's also kind of weird. You don't want to be the one out. And then some of you guys were probably doing it because you kind of feared my authority, which I'm only 4 feet and 10 inches, and so I'm really not that scary. But I guess being on the stage gives me a little bit of authority right now. And so in life, you're going to be presented with a lot of people asking you to do things. You're going to be presented with a lot of opportunities, especially in leadership. And so next time someone asks you to do something like this, make sure you know your heart and make sure you know your priorities and you kind of question before you say yes. Don't automatically say yes. Don't automatically try to people please, because I know from firsthand experience that doesn't work because you kind of spread yourself too thin. And for a long time in my life, I thought that I was being selfish if I said no to helping someone out. But then I realized I really can't pour from an empty cup. And what I mean by that is, if people are always asking me to do things and I'm always saying, yes, I'll do that for you, and I'll do that for you, and I'll do that for you, that's great, but really I'm not serving them to the best of my ability, because I started out with like no energy, no relaxation, and that benefits nobody. And so on the screen, this side says excitement, desire, and choice. And so if someone asks you to do something and you're more excited and you really desire it, and your reasoning for saying yes leans more on this side, well, then that's a good yes. You should go for it and do it. But if you're saying yes out of guilt or fear or survival, it's probably not your best yes, and you probably need to question it. And so on the next slide, I just want to leave you with a few takeaway quotes. The first one says, "Do what you can fabulously." That one really doesn't need a lot of explanation, except do what you can and do it with excellence. Don't spread yourself too thin. And then the next quote says, "Say no so that you can say yes." Say no to things that you can't do, you don't want to do, you don't have passion for, your heart's not in, so that you can say yes to other things that you want to do. Also, I just kind of leave you with how to say no in 11 different languages, because just in case someone asks you to do something, you're going to need to know how to say no in more ways than just English. And then finally, I challenge you guys to embrace your inner Simon Cowell, because if he can say no, then you can say no. Thank you.